Hey there, Floss Tube. This is Cathy, the hands-on designer. I'm coming at you on, it's a Thursday. It's about noon. So if you hear a loud grumbling sound, it's probably it's probably my tummy telling me it's lunchtime, and the dog is right over there. So hopefully nobody comes to the door, or you'll get to hear her bark. So anyway, I've been meaning to do this all week, so I'm finally tucking this in before lunchtime, and I want to talk to you a little bit about a project that has been going on for a while now, but I got some updates and some new information, and then also a little bit, closer peek at one of my newest releases that is getting set to ship to shops on Monday and Tuesday of next week. The first rounds go out. So let's talk first about year celebrations. Holy cow, that chart released last month. Sorry, you can't see my last month. And I can't believe how many people are stitching this and have already got like January done and February done. Now, of course, some of you do have it done because of it was in the magazine. If you look at my most recent blog post, my last video, tutorial online, it gives pretty much between all of those, plus just the product posting on my website, it pretty much gives all the information that you're going to need for this design. I did want to let you know, Judy Cartwright has graciously started a stitch along on Facebook. So it's HOD Year of Celebrations SAL. I will put links below. Don't feel like you got to hurry up and write it down, but I encourage you to join. I am seeing so many cool finishes. And of course, we're all enabling each other with where they got this clipboard and that clipboard. Some have chosen to make the clipboards that I did the tutorial for, and some are finding some really cool things at some of the big craft stores, and just some very unique takes. And it's exciting to see different fabrics. It's exciting to see the different colorways. I had hoped that this was going to be a good, I don't want to say stitch from stash, but use those little, like I think I said, bits and bobs of what you have, and use them. So it's really exciting. So so the stitch along is going on Facebook, and I kind of got inspiration because I've had lots of questions about how I finished the clipboard. And I refer people, the tutorial to do the clipboard is now on my website. And somewhere along the line, well, this part is like a couple steps. I realized, and I've said before to you, my models, they all have to go out and earn their keep. And they go out on trunk shows, or they go, when I'm going to teach, I'll take a trunk show with me, and we talk about them a lot. And and I only made one of these, and then somewhere along the line I thought, I'm probably gonna need one for each month, because the beauty of doing something like this is if I need to be somewhere, but they've got to go to a shop trunk show, I can have some come with me and some come with them, and logistics, So I was like, I need to make some more of these clipboards. I need 12. And so I got on my, I think I used some of the Black Friday specials, and I ordered another set of the boards because they come 6 to a pack. And all that information is in the blog and the tutorial. And then I ordered more of the clips. So I had all that. And here's where my friend Erin from Myrtle Grace Motifs sort of enters the mode. She is a punch needle designer. She does really neat stuff. I think I'm going to give a shout out to her here, and again, I will put all the linking information below. She is very passionate about punch needles, so much so, it was maybe like about a month ago, she did a series of posts that were really cool that basically walked you through the beginning of the project to actually punching, and then the end of the project. And she had like one post a day to show you the next step. And I just thought that was a really neat idea. And so much so that I thought, how could I do this? So I texted her and I said, by the way, love that idea. By the way, do you mind if I steal it? She's like, not at all. And so definitely, if you do like doing punch needle, I will say, follow her blog. She has she has 2 little kids. It's been a long time since I had 2 little kids, so seeing her raising them through eyes that have already raised 2 little kids, it just cracks me up. I love her humor. She's a great baker, and I just think the way she words things, she's got such a funny sense of humor, and she really tries to find the humor in life with 2 little kids and running a business and working full-time outside the home and you know, everything that goes with that. So I will put links also for those that like, I don't know, do you like that farmhouse look? She's got an awesome little complimentary farmhouse punch needle design on her website that she's offering now. I don't know if it's on her website or her blog. I'll try and find it, and then if not, definitely go to her blog or look her up on Facebook or Instagram. She's on both. Myrtle Grace Motifs. I want to say, I think she told me a long time ago, Myrtle Grace. It was either 2 ants or 1 ant, and that was the name, and that's kind of where she got the name of her company. It's very sweet. So definitely check her out. She's a lot of fun. So anyway, I liked her idea of kind of a post a day to walk you through the project. So I thought, I wonder, because I still was getting some questions about how to finish the boards. So I decided we have a stitch along, or SAL. I decided to do kind of a finish along and post every day. I think I started on Tuesday. We should end by Friday. Just some more pictures that I took as I'm going through the steps of finishing 11 more boards so that each of my months can have their board. You don't need to do that, but you can if you want to, but I definitely need to do that. But anyway, so I kind of do a series of 4 pictures kind of walking you through as I paint, as I sand, as I stain. Today we stain. So those are on my Instagram pages and then also over on my Facebook pages. Now, some people say, well, I'm not on Instagram. On my website, handsondesign.biz, my Instagram feed always scrolls across the bottom so you can see what the latest post is every time. I think like the most recent 4 or 5 pictures are up there. So anyway, so join me on the FAL, the follow along. Yeah, finish along, sorry. I'm not used to my own new term yet. So, and if you like this, I may do it again for some other kind of finish. I have other finishing tutorials on my website. Flat finishing, how to make the block parties, how to do the drums that from my Around the Holiday series. Hopefully those are helpful. And if they are, let me know and tag me in a post when you post something. So go ahead and definitely join the group if you're able. We'd love to have you. And special thanks to Judy for starting that group. It was one of those, she's never going to ask a question again. She said, I would love to do, in the Hands-On Design Stitchers page, she posted, is there any stitch along going? I'd love to join. And I said, I don't know, but I think you should start one. So it's kind of like, you don't want to ask because then you're afraid I'll be put in charge. So thank you, Judy. I appreciate it very much. So that brings me to Chalk on the Farm, the final Chalk on the Farm in the series of the 4 seasons. We've had spring, which started the series kicked off last February 18, with Tulip House. Then we went to summer with, Bell. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, that was my FedEx driver, and he was dropping off my latest trunk show from the Cross My Heart, the shop in Ohio. So yay, my little babies are home for at least now till the end of the year. And that break was good because it gave me long enough to realize that I misspoke. When I was starting to talk about the Chalk on the Farm series. I think I said Tulip House, and everybody's going, what? No, that was last year, that Chalk for the Home. So yeah, so I wrote them down earlier, and I should read my own notes. So in February it was Fresh Eggs Farm. It was the introduction of all those chickens. And then after that, we had Queen Bee Flower Farm, which little Ronnie, Priscilla's doggie, came onto the scene. And then Autumn Acres saw the introduction of, Ronnie showed up in Priscilla's version, but Calvin, the cat, showed up in the charted version. And of course, now we've recently had, we've shown you, it's starting to ship on Monday. Let me grab it. Winter Wonderland Farm. And it really is a winter wonderland. When I saw all the snowflakes and everything, and if you saw on Instagram yesterday, I showed that I'm currently living in a winter wonderland because we've had some snow, and it's just, well, some people go, ugh, as long as I don't have to drive in it, I think it's beautiful. But this one, Bessie the cow is back, or actually it's a different cow, so I should probably call her a different name. Of course, we've got our lovely chickens are making another appearance, and Oink 1 and Oink 2. So little oinkers are on the farm. Just this one is just magical, and I think probably of all of the ones in the series, I took the most, I don't say liberties with that one. That one sounds weird. Okay, maybe it's better light over here. Yes, better light over here. I can get it in the picture more. When Priscilla sent me the original image, she had these, I actually said, what's that? I can, you know, I'm always curious what she means by something. And she said, well, I wanted the snowbank, but she said, I know nobody's going to want to stitch like that whole solid section of white. And so then she kind of came up with this to sort of mirror it, sort of to create like a snowbank, but yet she drew it as blue and white. So I kind of thought, oh, it looks like a funky long scarf with all these sort of dangles on it. And she's like, do what you want. So I did. I love the barn. I love the colors. Now I will say this is meant for winter. I definitely gave mine kind of maybe a more of a Christmassy look with the bow, but I loved it because I fell in love with this bow. I auditioned a lot of bows, a lot of ribbons, and I like it because every single color in here is in this piece. The reds, the greens, you know, the green in the pine trees. And again with this one, you've got little areas that you could stitch as a little vignette, an ornament. I mean, you could take that barn, and if you'll notice, it was not like this on her original. Here, I'll tuck that up there just so you can see. The trees actually are mirror image. So if you wanted to do just the barn by itself, you see the trees sort of go, they get chopped off on the edge there, but you could actually reverse this pattern because the trees are the same, and then you could kind of finish out your branches there. And again, Mr. Frosty with Oink 1 and Oink 2 just, you know, would make just a cute little, you know, like almost like a little snow globe kind of thing. And of course, I just love the trucks. And I was so happy she did one that had like the slatted wood in the back of it. We have a landscaper that rides around town, and he's got these vintage looking trucks, and his have that in the back. So I think they're cool when I see them, and I was so glad she did that. And then of course we've got the little cow back. He's a little, it's not the same cow, it's a different cow. So I just love the snowflakes, and just a fun one. I did finish this one the same way. Fabric, it's the same frame. I actually bought 4 of them this time. In previous years, I've actually just switched them out. But again, it's that whole, they travel to trunk shows. I need them each to have their own frame. So saved my 40% off coupon, and I bought the same 11 by 14 ready-made frame. This is just coordinating fabric on stretched on mat board. This is laced onto foam mat board with a couple layers of batting, and I put a little, just to neaten the edge up, a little ribbon trim, and then of course I have my little clips up there, and those are attached just with literally just, you know, straight pins, ball head straight pins through the top. And then of course I added the pretty bow. So I'll bring that back down. So I just like him. He's in my, I have these shelves over my stove that I like to decorate with the holidays. You can't see, but he goes right up there. I tried to do that backwards, sorry. So Winter Wonderland, that it is, a Winter Wonderland. And again, the sign that went with it. And I finished my sign a little differently. I had to laugh because, you know, I don't see Priscilla's and she doesn't see mine before we do these videos. And I was watching her video and I went, we use the same fabric for the back. Now, I did change this from my previous finishes. With the others, I have put scrapbook paper on, dry mounted it to foam core. And okay, I really liked it. I was having a hard time finding a good paper to go with this that just really spoke to me. And quite frankly, the previous 3 that I've done, again, they travel to trunk shows, they go into boxes, they get bent, they get, well, unfortunately, one got wet and the paper really didn't hold up. And so I decided I didn't want to do paper this time. I like the scrapbook paper idea and finish. I've done that for years, and it's good on smaller things, but on the bigger things, I just don't know that it holds up well. So I'm not going to abandon that thought process entirely. But I just felt like I went to fabric. So it's really the same finish. It's foam core with a piece of batting and then the fabric laced onto the back, and then I just covered the back with a large piece of mat board. And I could put an easel on this or a hanging thing, and then I could, you know, same top. And then I happen to have these cute little pins from just another button company in my stash, and I just kind of tuck those in the top because I just like having that little added extra bit there. So so anyway, Winter Wonderland, and of course we have the houndstooth, the gingham lettering, again, like we did in the last one. I'm getting better at that, the gingham lettering, and I've seen it a lot more places now in designs and whatnot, so it's fun to see. But I am, like I said, when I go back and change the previous 3, one I definitely have to update because, like I said, it got damaged en route, and then the other 2 I might just make so that they're kind of the same. So anyway, just a lot of fun. And I did want to, and these, okay, a couple things. I'm always asked, where do I get it? I don't see where to get it on your website, kind of thing. New releases always go to shops first. I keep a list of shops on my website that do order directly from me. So you can check that out. Some are online, some are brick and mortar. Some brick and mortar are online as well, have great online services. A lot have posted out there on the social media pages and get pre-orders. I think that scares people sometimes when they pre-order. This is not a limited edition thing. It's just that by pre-ordering it, if the shop is offering that, then you'll get in on the first wave of their order. We start invoicing and packing on Friday, and then Monday and Tuesday the first rounds of shipments go out. So again, if you don't get it in the first, or you're not sure where to look, you know, check out the list of shops on my website. Some shops will post it for pre-orders, some won't. That's okay. We'll make plenty of charts, and if I run out of the first printing, we'll make more. So always, you know, exciting when those start going out. And then I thought I would answer a few questions. I get emails. I know Priscilla gets more emails than I do. She's more, you know, she's more popular than I am. That's okay. I got my little cheat sheet notes here. I get emails all the time, or comments, which I love. But the number one question is, how did we meet? How did Priscilla and I meet? And the short story is, well, I don't think there is a short story. As I was doing my original chalk series, A Year in Chalk, she was stitching it, and I noticed, you know, that she had a lot of chalk designs in her home, and of course, isn't her home beautiful? And I kind of messaged, or I replied on one of her blog posts, I'm doing A Year in Chalk and cross stitch, only to find out she was actually already stitching it. And then we just got talking, and then long story, again, really short. You know, when I was approached with a magazine to do an annual series, I thought about kind of incorporating the two. It's something I always kind of wanted to do, was to work from somebody's art, and then the rest is sort of history. How do we name them? How do we, because the last two series, Chalk for the Home and Chalk on the Farm, have had two designs with them, the larger sampler and then of course the smaller sign piece. And the original Chalk for the Home, I think it was actually just, oh man, now I can't remember. Does it say home or does it say the season? It says the season. And sorry, brain fart. So with that, it wasn't, that was more naming the chart itself, but that name wasn't in the design anywhere. This, like the name of the chart is actually in the, it's the name of the farm and it's in the design. So I will say, typically what we've done is Priscilla has designed the larger piece first. She'll draw it out and she'll send it to me. And then I get working on that right away, because mostly because that takes longer to stitch. And in the process, I look at kind of what she's done, and we kind of email names back and forth. And this one kind of was a no-brainer, Winter Wonderland. And it's so funny because the term Winter Wonderland has just, it must be like the term of the season kind of thing, because I went to a Winter Wonderland craft show last weekend, and I see Winter Wonderland everywhere now. So it's kind of fun to be part of the Winter Wonderland themes these days. So the name really kind of comes after. The hardest one to name, I will say, I think for us this year, maybe Priscilla will agree with me, is Queen Bee Flower Farm. We went back and forth about that one for a while, and we both finally settled on Queen Bee Flower Farm. I think we both kind of go, yeah, you know, something just hits you. And so anyway, so, and I'm talking about Priscilla, and I'm assuming most of you know who she is. It's Priscilla Blaine. She's a chalk artist. She has an awesome blog, priscillas2000blogspot.com, and she shows the interior of her home. She does a floss tube. Like, why am I telling you this? You all know this, but for the 1% that don't, she and her daughter Chelsea do the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, a weekly floss tube video, and they're just kind of fun. You know, and I've enjoyed working with Priscilla over the years. So, okay, so that's how do we name them. We actually name them after the first one is, the large one is designed, and then I don't want to say we back into the name, but we kind of do, actually. Okay, how far in advance do you design and stitch? Okay, with a lot of my things, I design pretty far out, like 6 to 9 months ahead of time. For some reason with the farm, we are usually coming in hot. That's all I can say. It's not that, you know, I mean, we know it's coming. We always have a deadline, but, you know, what's a deadline if not to get pushed off even more? Deadline is merely, you know, just a guideline. No, we generally know about what month we want to distribute, because we want to give you time to stitch it before the holiday or before the season. And this year I have had some help with the model stitching on the larger, but I have stitched all the smaller pieces because I really like to play with the colors, make sure they're working, because yeah, there are times when I'll be stitching something and I'll go, yeah, no, that color doesn't work, it doesn't show up. As much as you guys talk about stitching on dark linen, sometimes colors don't work on dark linen. So yeah, sometimes it's a matter of like a week before the things start actually. I'm still actually right now, yesterday I spent going back and forth with my printers. I'm going to give them a huge shout out here in a minute because I owe a lot to them this week. So yeah, generally with these, we're kind of, we're pretty much right to the deadline. Okay, another question. This has been, ever since we released the Winter Wonderland, this is the email I get the most, is will there be more? And all I'm going to say to that is just, you know, stay tuned. So I did mention that I was going to give a shout out to my printers because, you know, most of the time when I do a chart, you know, I shoot the covers, I do all the charting, I do all that, but I send it off to the printers, and I use a couple different printers in town. One does my cover work, and then one does all the interior, because they just kind of each have different specialties. And for some reason this time, it always seems to happen when you're running close to a deadline, which I seem to be doing on these. Oh my goodness, I'm like, you know, having an email conversation with this printer, and I'm sending files back and forth, and I'm having an email conversation with this printer and sending files back and forth. I wish sometimes that you guys could see what exactly happens from point A to point B. It's not just, you know, draw a pretty picture and make a little chart and take a picture and slap it all together. A long time ago, a designer, actually it was Linda Ebright, posted something in one of her blogs, and I read it, Lizzie Kate, and she said, it's amazing if stitchers only knew how little actual design time happens, because a lot of it is, you know, you get the design to press, so to speak, and it's all the little details. It's, you know, checking the colors, checking the symbols, it's proofing the chart, which, you know, we all know I make those mistakes. But it's making sure that, you know, this person does their job and that person does their job, and there's a lot more to it than you think sometimes. So I do use my local FedEx, Kinko's. I've just been with them from like the beginning of my designing days, and they do all of my interior charts, the actual charts that in color keys and all the words and everything. And we actually use one of their offsite printers, and they are just, I mean, you know, I feel like Norm on Cheers when I walk in there, because I walk in and they're all, hey Cathy, you know, I just love them. When they have a new employee come, they kind of all have to educate that employee, like, this is how she works, this is what she does, da, 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 da. And it's been kind of fun, because I didn't really know that they noticed, but they're like, gosh, it's amazing how you know, the charts have changed and over the years, and just, you know, you've adapted with new technologies and new computer programs. I thought that was kind of fun that they noticed. And if you would look back to the charts that I was putting out like 10 years ago to what we put out now, the way the format and the layout is kind of crazy. I should do a kind of a timeline one time. And also my cover company here in town, Record Printing. Of course, nobody will know who they are because they're a local business, but they have just gone over the top today to turn around 3 new covers for me today that are getting picked up, so that we can start assembling these charts and getting them ready to all ship on Monday. So you all know what I'm doing this weekend, putting starch together. So anyway, so that's just my little shout out. So two designs that are kind of, you know, what we've been all about lately is Year of Celebrations. All 12, actually 2 bonus designs in the chart. Join the stitch along, follow the finish along. If you like the finish along, I'll try and do more in the coming year. And then of course, got to get your Winter Wonderland farm and get stitching on that and enjoy it. And you know, and it really is for winter, even though mine has definite more of a Christmas tone, maybe. Sorry about that. It just kind of the colors that spoke to me, but I do intend to keep it up all winter. So anyway, I will try to get back with one more floss tube before the first of the year, but Winter Wonderland is actually my last release for 2018, so woohoo! I'm already at the printers with the new releases for January, and I think I hope you'll be pleased. I shouldn't say I think you'll be pleased, but so anyway, so if I don't get back with a new floss tube, Merry Christmas. Well, such is life. Yet another interruption in the middle of me saying goodbye and happy holidays and whatever it is you celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything. Of course, I get another phone call that interrupts me. So I don't know how these are going to mesh together. I'm not so good at the editing. We might just mash it all together and you get to see me go, hello? But anyway, so my apologies for the interruption. But anyway, so, but seriously, thank you for a fabulous 2018. I'm really looking forward to 2019. We'll have releases in January. We'll have probably a release in February. And then, of course, keep market in your minds for all your Stitch Mania. There's going to be a lot of new and fun things out there. I know not just from me, but all of your favorite designers and some from a lot of my good friends. They're all doing some fabulous work right now. So isn't that wonderful? I just love everything that's going on in the cross-stitch community right now. A lot of people really just supporting each other, and I think that's fantastic. So anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the stitch. Bye-bye.